Shalom, Apostle Tahar, coming back at you with the truth, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashim, Yahushua Bashim, Rakakwadash. And I'm entitled this 2020 is going to be a hot year. And the year, not even a week has gone by. Actually, two days, 3 days, the third day. As of January 1st, 2020, and the U.S., backed by President Trump, Donald J. Trump, had committed an act of war when Soleimani, which he was a head general of Iran, used a drone to kill this individual, according to the news. Anyway, as I put in U.S. Iran latest news. It says live updates. Iran vows forceful revenge after U.S. kills general. That's a New York Times. Next article is from the Independent. Iran News Live. Trump claims Qasem Soleimani was plotting to kill Americans. And that was 14 minutes ago. Today's date is January 3rd, 2020. A year of prophecy, and this is definitely war is part of prophecy. It says this is from Al Jazeera. Soleimani killed in U.S. air raid. All the latest updates. So that's breaking news. That's what's, like I said, not even 4 days goes by and there's a major war. This is war. When you read on, it speaks about how they're going to send at least 3,000 troops, U.S. troops, to that region. Because they already know it's a declaration. You killed a general, that's a declaration of war. I'm not going to make this long. I'm going to go to a couple of scriptures. Matthew 24 verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye not be troubled, and that's for the elect. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So this war, now you have people out there, people that claim to know the scriptures. You have even other Israelite groups saying, well, this could be the war where the Most High come back. This could be it. World War III Armageddon could take place in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months. Well, that's not going to happen, because before World War III or the war Armageddon comes to pass, the chip, and I keep mentioning the microchip, the mark of the beast, the mark of the beast, the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast, which is the microchip, has to be made mandatory throughout the whole planet Earth, and the majority of people on the planet Earth will take that chip. Not all, because we don't plan on taking no damn chip. Anyway, next scripture, Mark 13 verse 7, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. So this, whatever escalation come from this war, because it's definitely war, whether they send 3,000 troops or 30,000 troops, ultimately they're gonna send all the troops into the Middle East. That's Joel, the 2nd chapter. Luke 21 verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, and this is a war, major war, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. So now let me go here to matter of fact, you know what? Let me do this. Revelation 6. See, when you turn on the TV and you hear this breaking news, the situation over there in Iran, in the area of Iraq, and that area of the Middle East, these scriptures should pop up into your head, because we've been reading these scriptures for so many years. Okay, this is Revelation 6, and we're going to go to the 4th verse. And there went out another horse that was red. When you think of red, you think of the Edomites. And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. So we're still in Esau's time, the time of the red horse, from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. That sword goes back to Isaac giving Esau the sword. As a matter of fact, let's prove that. See, from y'all out there studying them scriptures, when these things come to pass, all these scriptures, like I said, should come to your mind. 2020, the year of prophecy. Prophecy is coming to pass. As soon as this comes up, I'll bring it up. And we know that, as I said earlier in this video, that this is not the end. This is not the war of Armageddon. This is not the destruction. The Lord's not getting ready to come back in the next 2 weeks. The one major prophecy has to come to pass before the end comes. So we're in Genesis 27. I'll start at the 37th verse. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord. And this is why you have these people over there in the land of Israel and so-called Jews. And a lot of them don't even know. All they know is they were taught that they were the Israelites. It's the elite that know. A lot of these people that you see that claim that are Jews, they're going by what they were taught. Just like we were taught that we were Negroes and Puerto Ricans and Haitians and Dominicans and Christians. When we were all children, we all believed that there was that the Lord was a so-called white man. His son, whom the world anyone calls Jesus, was a so-called white man. All the angels are white. The Israelites are white. Another video, a previous video I did, I remember as a child we used to get together. The streets would be empty when the Ten Commandments would play on TV. And we really actually thought that Moses was a so-called white man, because that's, your parents didn't know. We went to church. So that's us shaking off these mental shackles. Mentally we're free. Physically we're still here. It says, I have made him thy Lord, and ultimately we will be over Esau. Jacob will be over Esau. And all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his fathers, that's why ultimately Esau wanted to kill Jacob. He said, I'm going to wait until my father passes and I'm going to kill Jacob. Have thou but not, and remember, Isaac is Yahweh Shai. Hast thou not but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. The fatness of the earth meaning where the resources are. And America is a major place with a lot of resources. That's why Solomon had his ships come over here. It's also known as Ophir, the fine gold of Ophir. That's over here in America. A lot of gold, a lot of silver, a lot of minerals. It says, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And that happened after David and Solomon and Jeroboam, after the split. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me go on to the word yoke. Okay, this is 2 Chronicles 21:18. It says, in his days Edom revolted against Judah's authority. I'm sorry, I'm reading that from the wrong version. That was a New King James. This is King James. In his day the Edomites revolted from under the dominion of Judah and made themselves a king. So now, Esau, of course, is in the power seat. And they're making the best of it. But they're going to lose. They're going to lose that power seat. They're in the midst of losing it right now. So that sword and Revelation, the 6th chapter that was given to them, it's obvious that goes back to Genesis 27. Isaac blessed him with the fatness of the land, and he told him that you're going to control everything with that sword. And the modern day sword is the missiles. So everything that they do is based upon that sword, based upon their war machine. But ultimately, as I mentioned before, Joel. Actually, let me go to Ezekiel. And I keep saying, if you have been in this truth and you have gone through these scriptures, anytime you see something, breaking news, potential war, the scripture should pop up in your head. And I don't know how diligent they are when it comes to the scriptures. They got to know that the scriptures, or the elite know, whether Trump knows and his cabinet knows, or whatever the case may, or the Congress knows. Ezekiel 38. So now you got to keep your eyes on Gog and Magog, which is Russia today. Because there's a lot of interest in the Middle East from Russia. So it says here in Ezekiel 38 verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. So any deals that the Russians make, treaties that they make with the United States or any of the European Unions, nations, the Most High is going to pull them back from that. And I will bring thee forth and all thy army. That's talking about the Russian army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shield. The modern day bucklers and shield is your modern war machine. It said all of them handling swords, and swords represent missiles. It says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya. Now Persia is current day Iran. When you go to Google and you look up Iran, it will take you back to, at one time they were known as the Persians. The people of Iran are the descendants of the Persians. So the 5th verse, Ezekiel 38 verse 5, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya. Libya is North Africa. At one time, Muammar Gaddafi, he ruled that area of land. Ethiopia, that's the land of Cush. And the people of Ethiopia know that they're the Cushites, the biblical Cushites. All of them with shields and helmets. And that's talking about they're going to have this nuclear power. They're going to have weaponry. It says in Joel, let the weak say that I'm strong. So we're coming to that time. It says Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, and that's all that area of Turkey, Germany, that area right there, which is southwest of Russia, of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So ultimately, Gog and Magog, or Gog is going to be a guard unto them, because like I said, they have interests. They have economic interests with these countries. That's why they have this the BRICS nations. So the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Then they have other treaties among different nations. You even have Russia have certain treaties with EU nations. It says, after many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back by the sword. And that's actually two places. That's America, because America has never been touched by warfare. You know, there's never been a major attack on America. It's always the American troops that go to different parts of the world and bring their troops. Like I said earlier in the video, that the initial response of the people of Iran and the people of that area, in the Middle East, they're calling for war now. So the immediate thing that the U.S. did was send 3,000 troops over there, and it's gonna wind up being way more than 3,000 troops. And we'll see what happens. Something's gonna happen where they might have a UN special meeting or something. It'll get quelled down. I don't know. We gotta keep. The scriptures say, watch as well as pray. So we got to keep our eyes on this thing. But we do know that this is not the war of Armageddon, because the mark of the beast has to be made mandatory. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, and it's on to the next one. Shalom.